dogs running, and that was my thought. Oh, one's for explosives and one's for
Yeah.
drugs.
It
Yeah.
could be. It could be. It's an interesting situation, and how it is handled is going to be kind of tricky. And because it's a hot potato, I think is part of the reason that it hasn't happened. Because I mean, the odds are that there are people now flying and transporting it in some form, back and forth, and just either doing it in their carry-on or doing it in their luggage. But so far, I haven't heard of anything happening. But would we even know if someone got stopped and they're told, well, listen, you're going to have to go back and talk to the police because we found a small amount of marijuana?
My thought too, though, is if LA County has decided they're going to allow it at the airport, and TSA stops you because they have to, because they're a federal agency.
Right.
If they, who are they going to call?
They
Because
would
I would
call
think
the local police.
But the police would say, "Oh,
The
but
police say
it's legal here,
Exactly.
as far as we're concerned." And so, yeah.
So then
but
they'd
like you say, you'll
give
probably
them
miss your flight.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Then they'd give you the chance to dispose of it, and then you could go on
they'd
without
confiscate it,
They
and
would
then who
confiscate
knows
it.
what they would do with
it.
it.
Exactly.
right?
It's a very
Because it's legal, so they can keep it.
exactly. It's kind of a sign of our times. It's an interesting situation.
Well, it was an interesting because we went to Alaska, which is why you asked me to come on.
Yes,
and
I'm so glad you could too.
I took the walking tour in Ketchikan, and we went by, and the guide wanted to make sure he pointed out the first legal recreational, what do they call it, lounge in Ketchikan, which is directly across the street from the federal building.
My gosh.
Yeah, and they've got their
tricky is
signs
that?
with, all these
And is it
varieties
legal?
and
Is
everything.
it legal to-
It's total recreational
Alaska?
is totally legal there.
I didn't know that.
Except on the grounds of the federal building,
Wow.
which overlooks the Stony Moose. The Stony Moose was the name of the shop.
I like Ketchikan. That's where I lost an
it's
iPhone.
beautiful.
That's where I lost my iPhone because I was taking a picture on the bridge where you can get a lovely view of Old Ketchikan. And my phone was out like that, and
Oh,
it
no.
flipped out of my hand down into the Salmon
Dropped
River.
it into the
Salmon
river.
River is right
Oh my
down.
gosh! Yes,
Yes, and it was an interesting situation because I had about 4 hours till I had to get back on board, and I did find that there was an Apple store, but it was out of the old town, and it was in a mall that I had to take a taxi to. It was about 10 minutes away, and I landed up paying full cost for the new phone.
gosh.
Because the old contract hadn't run out, right? And so it was one of those. And
And you didn't have insurance on your
well,
iPhone?
no, I didn't, and now I always have insurance on my
Yeah.
iPhone. Of course, nothing's happened now that I've had insurance all these years. But the thing is, you're able to restore a lot of it, thank God, due to, iCloud
The
and stuff, and you
cloud,
can get
yes.
that. But I lost the pictures. I had a bunch of bears and eagles. You know how you do? Did you in Ketchikan outside there? There's a lot of wildlife, right?
Yes, I didn't take the wildlife tours, but folks I talked to on the ship who had saw everything, bear and elk, and
Yeah.
we did see an eagle, a bald eagle, perched in the pines right above the docks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, everybody was stopped and taking photos of it.
I saw a bear, a black bear, and two babies pretty close by on one of the tours there. See, they have one of the salmon rivers have a lot of fish, and of course the
Yes.
eagles swoop down for the fish, and they have a little center there, knowing that that's where everyone's going to get great pictures, right? So, and I have to say the tour was worth it. It was a walking tour. And that's when on that walking tour I saw the eagles, I saw the river and the salmon, and then the black bear were pretty close by. You just stay on the trail and you can see them in the
And
distance.
some lucky salmon got your iPhone.
Yeah, I think that some salmon's got all of my messages and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, I hope I didn't choke them. But that salmon might have been eaten by now, so we'll see who they were. That's GPS it. I never tried that. Right? Find my iPhone.
Right.
In the belly
In
of
the
the
belly of a
biggest
fish.
salmon.
Well, I'm really glad you came in. As most people know, Kathy Collins does an article on Wednesdays, and it's a lovely article.
Thank
You
you.
do on Wednesdays. Enjoy talking about it, and your mother's become a part of your story, and it's just always charming to see her. You bring her out to events, and I know I saw her at the Nisei Vets movie. It was wonderful that time your mother came and was able to see it.
When we saw Go for Broke.
Your mother's 93?
She's 93 and just yeah, I have to work hard to keep up with her.
Which is wonderful. I mean, it's so wonderful that she's active. You swear that it's maybe from dancing. You think you stay in shape because you're in great shape from dancing, right?
You gotta enjoy what you do. I think you know.
I think that makes a
Yeah.
difference too.
Mom used to do a lot of line dancing.
Did
before.
she? Oh, she
Yeah,
was a country
yeah.
line dancer.
Yes, she really enjoys
Oh.
that.
Oh, that's great. So, what was the idea? Because some people would be very nervous about taking a mother 93 years old. No, and a lot of people would be concerned, right, about taking their mother on a cruise like this. It was an NCL cruise, right? Or was it Princess?
No, this was Princess.
Princess,
Mom's been on. This was Mom's 5th or 6th Princess cruise, so
Oh,
she's got
really?
like platinum Captain Circle status. I would say the last time I took, and then Mom and I did the Inter-Island NCL cruise last December. But prior to that, the last time I cruised with Mom was 20 years ago. We
Wow.
did, also on Princess, we did the Scandinavian cruise. And then in 94 was my first cruise, but not hers. And we did the Mediterranean. And so, yeah, I wasn't too worried because I know how Princess in particular really caters to their clients, their passengers. The customer service is just excellent. And from performing on the NCL Pride of America, every week I see a new, couple thousand passengers, and I've realized that a lot of older folks and mobility impaired people do travel. And after doing a week-long cruise with Mom, I'm more comfortable being her travel companion on a cruise ship than flying somewhere and having to deal with, because that was the most difficult part for us, getting through the airports. And fortunately,
Let's go into that because
aids.
this is something with parents and a lot of elderly people also. You have quite a few elderly people that book with you. I know you've had a lot of 83-year-olds, et cetera, book.
I do.
You have quite a few that book. What are the considerations? Well, of course, number one, you want to get insurance.
Yes,
That'd be
definitely.
very important,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Other concerns that you really want to make sure of. Getting through the airport, you said had some challenges. What
Well,
are some-
it's just that if you are going to have to make connections, change flights, and nowadays,
wheelchairs.
yes.
Yeah.
And Mom has her own walker. She has a little rolling walker that she is really comfortable with, and so we always gate check the walker. And when we're doing Inter-Island, it's not a problem. We never request wheelchair assistance. But in the major airports on the mainland, it is best, even if you've got your walker. Actually, they insisted, and I said, well, okay, I'll push the walker and you can take Mom in the wheelchair. And it's a good thing because, oh my gosh, it's like a quarter mile between gates,
really,
right?
really. Now going,
Yeah,
which gate was that?
This was in, actually coming back, we flew from Seattle to LAX and then LA
LAX is
to
a lot.
Kahului.
Right.
So at LAX, yeah.
And you know what? It's better to
But-
get the wheelchair because it can
It
be
is.
exhausting.
And
going
even
that
when we
far.
went direct from Kahului to Seattle on Alaska Airlines, once we arrived there, just getting to the location where we had to meet for the cruise pickup, the transport to the pier, they insisted on taking us in the wheelchair, and I was grateful that they did.
I think
But I
that's something
commented to
consider.
my mom, once we got to the area where you congregate and wait for the bus to take you from SeaTac to the pier, I said, well, it looks like Vacations Hawaii. There's a dozen wheelchair attendants there waiting for their passengers, and then we all get numbers, and then you all,
Well,
one by
it
one
can
you
bring
get
up
on.
issues. It was interesting getting off the Celebrity Solstice on Saturday. We were disembarking, and there were 4 people with wheelchairs. They had at another disembarkment area. And at that time, it was around 2 o'clock, 2:30, maybe 3. And the waves had actually picked up where the swells were almost, I'd say, 4 feet, 3 to 4 feet. And so it was just getting onto the tender was a little challenging because, we were seeing that tender ship going up and down quite a bit. So there was like this concern, how do you get the person Do you carry them on? You know, with the wheelchair situation, it's very tricky trying to get them on a tender boat with a 3-foot, 4-foot swell. You know.
Yeah, that one lady, she walked. Well, they went down on the little elevator thingy, and then to the platform, and then I was wondering how they were going to get her on. But she actually walked. But I was like, oh, that you know,
if it goes up or down,
yeah, she.
It's a consideration
Yeah.
when you do tenders, of course. You know.
Yeah.
And so there's something like that. My sister had cancer, and stage 4, she came back and went into remission, but she had her spinal cord severed in the operation. So she's in a wheelchair and does a walker as well. And then she's gone back and got cancer again after 10 years. But she did a trip, and she's been nervous because she hasn't taken an airline trip in a while. And so she's nervous. I know many of your people don't even think twice. But she's not full strength still since she has cancer. And she was okay. They booked Spirit, mistake, because they landed and had to switch planes. And there wasn't a jetway. So not having a jetway, had to go down onto the tarmac. And she didn't have a wheelchair on the tarmac. And then she had to go up the stairs of the plane getting on, which was a challenge, right? Going up the
Sure,
stairs,
I
you
can
hold on
imagine.
and you're slow and you feel bad because it's one step at a time, very slow. And it's something a lot of people don't consider, but you have to have a lot of patience for people in those situations where there are wheelchairs. I mean, it took time. You know, there were people, we waited about 30 minutes, I think, trying to make sure the wheelchair people got on okay. But it's something that, you know, I think they're very good on cruise lines. I've seen them be very good handling people with,
They are,
with
they are,
wheelchairs and
yeah.
situations, right?
And this particular cruise, we were always able to dock, so never had
good.
to
No
deal
tender.
with the tenders.
Oh, that's good.
The inter-island cruise, there was one, was it Kona, where you had to take the tenders ashore, and Mom didn't really care about going ashore anyway, so we didn't deal with it. But and also a lot of the people in wheelchairs, most of them are able to
A little
ambulate
walking,
a
a
little
little
bit,
bit,
yeah,
yeah.
just with assistance. I mean, there were people on board with their own motor scooters.
And I was curious about how they do that as well, because that's got to be quite a
It's a
nightmare.
tight squeeze
Yeah,
getting into the
And you got to
cabin,
put it in
but-
the cabin, right? Now,
Yes.
if you notice now, I know that Celebrity, when I was looking at booking this, they have rooms that do have more space.
They
for
do
people
have handicapped
handicap-
accessible.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
more space in the bathroom, because otherwise, you see how small the bathrooms are. Did you get a room that had a little more space for the bathroom?
Mom's only concern was that we have a balcony.
Oh, well,
So
good.
we had
Very
a
good.
fairly nice sized room with a balcony, but yeah, the tiny little head, and but she was able to do all right. We could have asked for a shower chair, but she said nah, she didn't need one, and there were guardrails there are in every bathroom, because even if you're not mobility
oh, yeah.
impaired,
If you have
if you're
stormy
rocking,
day,
yeah,
you want to hold
wanna
on for
have
sure. Rocking and rolling, you want to. So you left Seattle, and then did you spend any extra time or just overnight in Seattle?
No, we just went and came directly back. We didn't do any of the pre or post cruise tours or excursions.
So you just knew what you wanted, and then
Yes.
you went on the which ports did you go to? What stops in
We
Alaska?
did the Inside Passage and on the Ruby Princess, so from Seattle up to Juneau, and then down through Glacier Bay, Skagway, Ketchikan, and Victoria, BC.
Oh, that's a
Before
nice
getting
one.
back to Seattle.
And
This one was
you've
the
been to
round trip
You've
Seattle.
been to Victoria before?
I had not.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Did you have time
It
to
is,
go
but
to
it was
the-
only a few hours
Oh,
in the
yeah.
evening, and
Yeah.
the winds were so strong that day that we were later than expected getting into Victoria.
Oh, okay.
And, we had gorgeous weather right through until that last day at sea. And so when we got into Victoria, it had been raining, and Mom didn't want to go ashore, and so I just stayed on board with her.
I've been through there twice, and you've probably done this too. The most beautiful rose gardens I've ever seen.
haven't been.
The Bouchard Road Rose Gardens you can do as a tour. They have them as excursions, and they're just heavenly. And they make sure no matter what time of year, they're really well decorated, and they know that there's a lot of people that come from the cruise ships, so they have special evening tours.
Yes.
You know,
they do.
obviously this time of year you have more hours of light. You had longer light time in Alaska, right? Did you have the sun setting very late?
Not that much later, actually. It was, It
Maybe
was
around 10
interesting because we
o'clock, 8 or
didn't
9?
realize that the Alaska had its own time zone, and we had to do one more hour, you know. Actually, it wasn't, because we were on the final week of the season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and because after that, all the ships were going on to different destinations.
Well, that's why Celebrity Solstice was here. It was just coming from Alaska.
Yes, yeah.
They're
Same
on
with,
their way to way down to Sydney.
same
and
with the Carnival Legend, I think, was coming out of Alaska.
a lot of
But,
repositioning going on right here. Now we had about 3 ships in last week, I think. It was
And I'll
before.
tell you, it's a great time to go. People warned us that it was going to start to be cold, and it was probably going to be raining and cloudy the whole time, and it wasn't. It was it was cold, but it was gorgeous, beautiful sunny skies. But the thing was that every port, you know, the shops were discounting all of their items
Oh, 'cause it's
because
the last week?
after we
Oh.
left, that was it. They were packing up and, you know, leaving town or just closing down for the season.
What excursions did you do?
Well, in Juneau, we went to Mendenhall Glacier. Had to do that, and Mom
I
went
love
on that one.
Isn't that
Oh, it's
beautiful?
beautiful, yeah.
When I was there, I know the glaciers are moving so much, but when I was there a couple of years ago, there's this waterfall that comes
Yes.
down before the glacier,
That-
right?
Yes,
And it's a
And
beautiful
you can take the
waterfall.
walk and go.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous, huge too.
That's close to the center of town as well. It's not that far out.
No,
like
it's not.
15
It's like a
minutes
25-minute bus ride.
Yeah.
And when my mom took this Inside Passage cruise 30 years ago, and at that time she took my son, who was just a little kid then, and she and her sister went, and they did the whole, you know, rafting and salmon fry on the beach and all of that. But being 93 now, we decided to just get the bus, go to the visitor center, spend some time there.
Could she do the
and then
walk
come
at all?
back.
Could she make the walk out to the glacier?
No, not
so
the hike
much.
out, but but she was fine going through the visitor center and wandering around that the area there, and checking out the ranger displays and things. And
When I was there at Juneau, and this was, I think it was a Celebrity. I can't remember. I've gone twice, but there was one excursion that went to this mountain that was like a glacier. Oh, you can go take a special day trip up to the mountain where there was snow, and they do a special helicopter up there, and you have a day up there, and they did. I think you even did the dog snow sled thing.
yes, they had that.
Well, there was some weather up there out of nowhere, a thunder and lightning, and the helicopter crashed.
oh my goodness,
The helicopter crashed,
Wow,
and the
scary.
people died on that excursion. You never expect that,
that's
right? I mean, it's like
awful.
no, and it was like, well, you know, and I was shocked that the ship went ahead and left, port at its regular time. It was like, whoa, that was one excursion I'm glad I didn't go on it. Those are expensive excursions because they actually fly you up there, and then there's this snow dog sledding and the whole thing. You know, it's one thing we never take ever into consideration. We think we're all safe, but things happen in Alaska, and there are accidents sometimes with these small planes. Weather can come in,
Sure,
and things
it's-
can happen. On the regular excursions, we don't worry about the things that happen besides losing iPhones on the regular trips. But you didn't do the Inside Passage on this one? Did you go
This
on the
was the
Inside?
Inside Passage.
Oh, it was
the
okay.
Inside
So
Passage cruise,
you hit
yes.
Juneau after
Juneau, Skagway.
After you went?
No,
or
we
was it on
went
the way down? Mm-hmm.
directly up to Juneau. From Seattle, we were a day and a half at sea up to Juneau, and then down, and then into Glacier Bay.
So Ketchikan was after. Juneau.
Ketchikan was on the way back to Seattle.
Oh, on the way back. Okay. And then you did and this is really very, very exciting when you do the Inside Passage. You've done that before, the Inside Passage. I mean, the way you see the different calving of the glacier and everything falling into the waterways, and there's sometimes little ice islands. I saw seals on some of these pieces of the glacier floating
Yes.
down there, and you see eagles sometimes.
Well, you know, I mentioned my mom had done the same route on a different ship, much smaller ship, on the Island Princess. 30 years ago, and she could not get over how much smaller the glaciers
Oh, really?
were.
She really could tell the
yeah,
difference.
It was really, she said, oh, it's so sad. And then, too, being on the Island Princess, which has less than 1,000 passengers, the ship was able to go much closer to Marjorie and the Grand Pacific Glacier. And so she said back then you could just almost reach out and touch it from your balcony.
Wow, really?
And then being on the Ruby Princess, which is so much bigger, of course they can't get nearly as close to the edges, but still beautiful. We saw calving, saw and heard it. That was amazing.
And there's waterfalls along the way that you can see coming down from the mountains
yes,
as well.
yeah,
And
it's
the nature,
gorgeous.
the nature and the expanse of nature in Alaska is really
Oh,
inspiring.
it's beautiful, just majestic, but really sobering. You know, the rangers boarded the vessel at the mouth of Glacier Bay, and then one of them did a narration pretty much throughout the whole day.
Was it early in the morning when
And,
you went through and went up? I know when I went, it
No,
was pretty early in the morning.
we entered the bay at about 10:30 in the morning.
Oh, that's a good time.
Yeah.
Because when we did it, it was very early and it was freezing. It was so cold out there. They had this coffee. You could get hot chocolate and mugs and things to drink
us too.
outside, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was really cold. I
Oh,
mean, the rest
yeah.
of the trip wasn't, but inside the glacier, inside Passage, it was cold.
It was, I think, at its coldest, it was like 27 degrees.
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Enough where you had a jacket on, right?
Oh, yes. We had several layers of stuff. But yeah, just beautiful. But it was so sobering, you know. What did they say? So the Grand Pacific Glacier was 100 miles long in the 1700s. It was,
Really?
in fact, there was no bay, right? It was just one huge ice field. And today, it's 25 miles long.
No.
250 years later.
Really?
It's retreated that much.
They told you that because I hadn't heard that. That's pretty
That came
sobering.
from the literature that we got from the...
My God.
Because Glacier Bay is a national park.
Wow.
So the
that
rangers
is a
provided all
shocking.
this stuff.
That's
Yeah.
shocking.
And they show you all these maps of where
Uh-huh.
it was in this year and then that year and that year. And yeah.
I saw some pictures of people watching in Patagonia, some camping, and the amount of the glaciers coming down in this video was I mean, it was just huge calving glaciers after calving glaciers. It was like, I mean, unbelievable.
But then I didn't realize, but that is part of the definition of a glacier. It
It
has to be
does it.
constantly moving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically a river of ice that moves
yeah.
and
Did you take a whole bunch of pictures, Kathy?
destroys and
Did you take
reshapes land. Yes,
Thousands of pictures?
No, dozens though.
Well, that's not a lot.
Dozens, no.
Oh, no, I can never get less than what I do about
I was worried about
2,000.
dropping my phone.
I know. I didn't get
And
next
your
trip.
fingers are so cold,
It
you know.
is,
It's like,
it's true.
oh, I don't trust this. And then, you know, the ranger kept telling us it's wonderful, you know, you want to take video and photos, but please try to remember that the mind is the best method of capturing these memories.
It's
And
so
of course,
true.
the ship wants you to buy their videos, right? We've already shot everything for you, so just enjoy that.
Yeah, but
Which
you know,
we
for-
didn't, but
Yeah,
yeah.
no, but
we
you
took
know, it
some
is nice, and
photos.
the biggest problem is having the time to organize all your photos when you get back, because it really takes a lot to. I mean, when you have 4,000 pictures, when you went to Europe, I bet you did. When I go to Europe, I easily get
Thousands.
Now thousands, and that takes a lot to go through. In fact, on my phone now, I wonder how far I go back. I haven't organized my ones from the trip around Spain yet, which I did last year, and that's the hardest part. I mean, I have a really nice camera, and I don't know, it's a $2,000 camera, but you know, I mean, almost all my pictures on my phone. I mean, because it's just handy, it's there.
It is,
They
yeah.
can
easy.
take really good pictures.
They
They
do.
do take good
Today's
pictures.
phones are
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, in fact, I'm thinking of getting the new one because there's supposed to be a very good camera on the new iPhone XS, and I may get the big one that's almost as big. They say it's almost as big as an iPad, 10XS, whatever the bigger. It's not supposed to be pronounced XS, but 10X extra, whatever. And I'm thinking of it because you know, Those are easy ways to take pictures, and as long as you don't drop it in the river, it's a very good way to do it. Just to
And then
give
you
yourself
do.
time to organize and
And
upload.
you've got to organize them because you always think, oh, I'll never forget where and when I took this.
You do.
But you do.
You do.
Yeah.
And if you upload them, and if you make the time to upload them while you're still on the cruise, then you don't have to worry about losing
That's true.
your phone or your camera,
That's
and you
true.
have them there.
And as you're uploading, you can organize them into albums.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least, you know.
It's kind of, if you have, I like, I'm an Apple person, and iPhoto makes it pretty easy to do some of that stuff if you take a little time,
Yeah, you can just search. I took a class at MCC on how to organize
Did you?
pictures, and I still haven't organized.
what was the go away? What was the input that you got in your mind that was important from that class? Tell us in a few sentences the entire class, Kathy.
Well, I mean, you can search by like Alaska, and then it'll pull up all your pictures from Alaska, and then you put them into folders. And there was another class that I didn't take about making movies from them and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I did
Yeah.
that for a while.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to take them and make them into an iMovie. And then I put music behind them. And then I still have the kind of, I get the computers that still burn DVDs, which are getting out of, it's very hard to find where you can actually insert. But I like making DVDs out of them, then, but you can watch them, on your DVD player. But now if you have Apple for TV, you can even have it on your phone or computer and still watch, and be able to watch them from your computer. You could watch your things from your photos, make them happen. But that is a nice part. And I think the only way that it's going to happen if you decide to have a party and show your pictures, because otherwise you're not
You
going to
don't
be
wanna
motivated.
bore everybody.
I know. I used to actually
You could
do
be one of those people.
Oh, one of those. Well, I send them out to people. I would
We-
actually send to family.
Here's what I do, with clients, and if I'm friends with them on Facebook, because you know how you save all your pictures.
Yeah.
So I'll grab a picture on Facebook, and then I send them a thank you card of a picture that they don't even know I did it. So like for these guys, I send them, and it comes in a nice postcard, and it's a thank you card, and then they actually have a physical picture
Oh.
that they probably
important.
did.
Hard
No,
copy.
yeah.
That's
The
nice.
physical pictures you do keep longer.
Yes,
I mean,
I'm not
That
sure
is.
what
I mean,
glacier
I've
that
been
is,
around a
but-
long enough time where I was taking all those pictures
Yeah.
and I put them even in albums,
Yeah.
And most people don't have
Most
that
people don't
anymore.
do that,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I can't tell you how many different photo apps I have and journal apps and things that are supposed to make them that way. And I even have that postcard app. There's an app that makes it into postcards, right? Is that the one that you did this with?
Yes, I do that, and I do a thank you postcard.
And which app is that
This
you use?
one is TouchNote.
TouchNote.
Yeah, I had another one, but I like TouchNote better.
And then you just send it to your computer and you print it out from your computer?
No, I just put it in there. You buy these credits, and then I have their address, and then it just gets sent directly to
I
them.
should try
They
that
do
one.
it for
Yeah.
you.
That's
How
good.
nice.
So
That's a
like
good
when
way to do it.
when I was in Europe, I was taking pictures, and I had it all sent before I left. So when they got home, it was already there. And
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about that
No.
getting stamps or anything because it's all done
'cause
that way.
it's probably sent from the
And they
US.
print it out like an actual postcard?
Yeah, and it's nice quality, like
It
a
is.
little maybe 4x6 photo,
That's
size.
great.
How
Touch
much
note.
does touch
Touch
note? I'm going to
note.
write that. And how much does it cost per sending of information?
Maybe $1.99
Oh,
or
that's not
something.
bad.
You buy
Yeah.
credits.
Considering what it costs
yeah.
now
Oh,
for-
here you can buy credits for the more you buy, of course, the cheaper. So, yeah, the least 5 credit pack is $1.99, and I'll buy a bunch before I go somewhere, and then I'll just that it's already set to go, and then I, pick pictures.
So
which
if
are-
As
you,
you go,
if you
you're
as
just-
you go and you meet people, then you get their email address.
or
and
my
email?
my Portugal
your
group,
clients.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like my clients, they'll like some of them I'm friends with Facebook, and I'll just you can still you can copy their picture, and then this one, my other client, they were on Instagram, but you can't do the same thing.
Uh-huh.
You can't copy pictures on
No,
Instagram.
but
so-
I learned. I googled this that you take the picture on your phone. You know how you do that?
You do a screenshot.
Screenshot,
Yeah.
and then you crop it.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
I'm not good at with this. I have
yeah,
a phone that
so-
has a very burdensome, and it won't do the screenshots well with this protection. I don't.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need
Because
to
you've got
drop
this-
it. It's
you've got
too.
the
Yeah, it's too
guard
wide
on
to
it.
guard.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, it won't work
anyways,
that
yeah.
one.
So that's a good thing.
The other
that
thing
I
you
learned.
could do, the other trick, is you could just send it to your Facebook site. If you have a picture you see on Instagram, you can send that to your Facebook site. You know how to send from Instagram the picture to your
Yeah.
Facebook. Yeah, well then
Somebody
it'd be on
else's
Facebook.
somebody else's
Yeah.
Instagram. Oh, I
Yeah, you
didn't
just
know
send
that.
it to Facebook,
Okay.
and then you could take it off Facebook.
yeah, I didn't know that one.
It's important to know ways around these things.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I mean, I love doing, and I have to say, I have some very cool apps because I'm a frustrated artist. And so, I mean, I have to say, I have a collection of excellent photo apps. And the one I use the most is Enlight, Enlight. It not only does, it gives you like 15 different options to make the picture into a piece of artwork, or you can change it in so many ways with brightness, lightness. It can make it kind of something that is kind of modern and looks kind of like a very interesting, different shapes that's kind of much more modern looking. There's all kinds of ways to do it. And then I send it and save it to my photos. And then I have an app called Glaze, Glaze, and it makes it look just like a painting. And I have about 20 different ways. It can look like watercolor, it can look like oil painting, it can look like, I mean, people think there all the time that I've painted these pictures. And it's really nice when you get a nice photo to do that, you know, and it literally will take me sometimes only 5 minutes to take a photo and enhance it. I did that on the trip on, over on Celebrity. I
Oh,
took
did
some
you?
nice, yeah. And then there's this one called Aristo. And Aristo, that's it. It makes it into kind of really interesting, very, very interesting, different kinds of looks. Like, well, I did some from that, from the cruise. And you take it and you can make it look kind of psychedelic. This is just a piece of I have my phone turned off. I have the thing turned off. I can't do it because I didn't want to get phone calls. But you can do some really fascinating effects with them. So, I mean, for me, that's my frustration. I don't have the time to do artwork, but I can take a photo and make them really look nice.
You know, Cindy, not to change the subject, but this reminded me, and I want to ask Kathy this. Why do cruise ships do the whole fine art gallery and auctions and sales things? I've noticed that.
Yes, there's the.
I don't know.
You know,
but
because it
people
seems to me,
buy
why
them.
would
People
you
buy them.
It's amazing they actually
Yes,
do.
for a lot of money.
I know.
Yeah, well,
For artists you've never ever heard of in your life.
well, on the
before.
Ruby they had a big Peter Max theme.
Oh, well, Peter Max, yeah.
and
And
so
those are
they
going to
had
be worth
workshops.
more, you know, because he's got
and
very
then-
bad Alzheimer's and he's close to death.
Yeah, and these aren't prints. These are all You know,
Originals,
so they
yeah.
had about 24 Peter Max paintings, and my mom and I went around. They were going to have this huge auction, like the second to the last night, and so my mom and I went around looking at the minimum bid on everything, and I totaled it up, and it was like $600,000 worth of Peter Max originals,
Wow.
ranging from these beautiful,
Wow.
huge, and stuff that I wouldn't have. Most of it looked like Peter Max, you know, but there were a couple. There was one that was painted in pastels, and soft edges that I was surprised, but there it was, signed by Peter Max, and it must have sold because the last day we were at sea, we went around back to the gallery, and only about 8 or 10 of the paintings that had been up on display were there. So I'm
Well, you know what?
assuming the
People
others
like
got
souvenirs
bought.
from trips. And sometimes
Yeah,
they'll buy
but
jewelry.
a $38,000
That's
souvenir.
exactly how Lahaina.
Oh, my
that's how
gosh.
Front Street exists, Kathy.
I
People go up and
guess.
down Front Street,
And they do
want,
make it easy. They'll ship it for you
Yeah.
to your home.
give
You
them
don't have
your
to take
credit
it in your
card.
bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
and if you've had a few drinks
just-
and you have that drink package, right?
Amazing.
And you've had a few drinks, it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
They also had a pair of Muhammad Ali's trunks, boxing trunks that he had signed, along with a picture. And
Those
I
probably
think
went
they
for a
had
lot.
belt buckle. The starting bid was less than 10,000. It was less than 5,000, in fact, and it didn't sell
Wow.
because it was still hanging there in the gallery
Wow.
when we disembarked.
You know, I see them do very well with some of those things, really.
Yeah, that just
I don't.
really surprised me.
Yeah, that's a good question.
The
I don't
very
know.
first time we went
Yeah.
on a cruise, I said, "This is so silly. They've got all these huge oil paintings." But I guess it's
they
a
all have
big
them.
thing. Yeah, they all do.
yeah.
I realized that.
It's big money.
You know, even the Inter
The
Island, even the
markup
Pride of
on art
America
is
has
like
them.
the markup on jewelry. We all know the markup on jewelry and art is huge. And that's why you can do it, because you can literally triple or quadruple your money investment when you have them on retail compared to what you pay for them, right?
Yeah.
So jewelry, you know what the markup is on jewelry, my God. So yeah, but people want them because they think it's a nice souvenir for the trip. You know, and like I say, they've had a few drinks and they're trying to have a good time. Right?
And you'd think at least they would have artwork that related to the area, like maybe,
No, they
wilderness painters.
No, because
but
these are
no.
art gallery people that are retails, and they just have their deals and their people that they
they
deal
do.
with, right? You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, I was going to ask you, and I'm going to have Christine Wong call in because she's got another cruise she's planning as well. She's got a couple she's booked. But it's got to be great because you're still doing your entertainment on Sunday.
Yes, on the Pride of
On
America.
the Pride of America. You go in, and what do you do, a dinner show, or what do you do?
No, we do 2 Polynesian shows every Sunday night, and I'm the MC, the host, and we do 5 Polynesian island groups: Hawaii, of course, Tahiti, New Zealand, Tonga, and Samoa. We have
So you
10
have a
dancers
standard
and-
kind of intro, and you know the people, and you
Oh
know
yeah,
the
yeah. No,
halals and-
it's Malu Productions. These 10 dancers fly over from Oahu every
Oh,
Sunday,
really? Oh.
and
I've
we
seen
have
them
3
on the
musicians.
plane. I was wondering what they do.
Yes, yeah, they come on board just for.
For
They also
that.
do the embarkation at Honolulu Harbor, but they fly in Sunday afternoon, and then after our second show, then the musicians and I, who live on Maui, shuttle them to the airport to catch the last
Oh, you
flight
do?
back to Honolulu. Malu also provides the Hawaiian duo on board, though, and that rotates. But we always have 2 musicians that travel with the ship and do, poolside
Yeah.
and lounge Hawaiian music. But
Oh, I think
it's
that
great
sounds
fun.
wonderful.
But I would highly recommend a different kind of staycation. My mom and I did the inter-island cruise in
and
December.
I've never done it. I've never done that.
I'd never had any interest in it, although I said, sure, I'll go cruise anywhere.
Yeah.
But it is, when else, unless you're a fisherman with access to a boat, when else are you going to get to see the Napali coast
It's
from
true.
the water?
It's
It's
true.
just gorgeous. And if you happen to be sailing at a time when Pele is showing off and the lava's going into the ocean, then the captain does alter the route so that the passengers are able to see the lava flow.
I want to
When
do it
we
when
went,
the
it had
good
stopped
rate.
like 2
Oh,
weeks.
you missed it.
We got a really good rate because we booked the week before Christmas. And I went online. It was a better deal than I could have gotten through the production company and the ship as a guest entertainer. It was amazing. The price just dropped that 1 week because they were trying to fill up the boat, and
think it's
nobody
worth
wanted
doing.
to travel that 1 week. The
Worth
Christmas week and New Year's week were booked fully, but that week before Christmas,
Good time because people are doing
it
Christmas
was
at
less
home.
than 1,000, balcony
Wow.
room, all of that, and and it's a great way to revisit
Oh
our
yeah,
islands.
I feel like
you know?
a great staycation. I've got
It is a
Christine
great
Wong on the line.
staycation.
Christine, have you ever done the inner island cruise?
Yes, actually, I did on the Norwegian Star.
Ah, yes. So did you enjoy the inner island?
Yes, and it was kind of funny. It was spring break, and my son Garrett was a junior in high school, and it was the last minute booking, and we actually ended up going down. At that time, they went down to Fanning Island.
I don't even know where that is.
Well, it's like 1,000 miles south of the Big Island.
Really?
Yes.
Ah,
They
that was
used
a
to have
while
to-
ago.
They used to have to do
But-
that one port
International,
outside.
to
make it
yes.
international.
To go
Port
international
Control
waters,
Act,
right.
The foreign port.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Well, they changed that now.
Yes, and you know what? It was fascinating because I don't think I'll get to Fanning Island again. and actually, they say that I don't know in how many years they predict it will be totally underwater.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sadly, yes.
Oh, wow. Well, we've been talking about with Kathy Collins here about her trip. She went with their mom on to Alaska, and of course, you just went to Alaska. And I was going to have Matthew Thayer on. He couldn't get free from the Maui News because he just got
I
back
saw
and he
his
went to
pictures,
Alaska.
yes.
And of course, he's
Not
such a
on a
great
cruise,
photographer.
though.
No,
No.
but you know, being a photographer, you want to be on land to take some great
Gorgeous
shots, right?
photos, yeah.
And you can take some great shots, and he's so good. You know, his look like paintings. You know what you see. But we were talking with Kathy about how fun it was on Saturday, and I got tempted to do this booking. I'm going to be going to Australia and New Zealand because there were some good prices. Remember, we had lunch on Saturday and we looked at the great prices.
Yes, and I remember that I had to keep an eye on you, Cindy, because I knew you wanted to stay on board.
I know.
so-
I did one. I've been missing. I've been missing taking a cruise. I haven't done one all year, and it's been too long. And I've been getting the Jones for a cruise. So all I needed was to get on the ship, going, I need to take a cruise, Kathy. And the prices were hard to say, impossible to say no to. You've got a cruise coming up in when's your next cruise? May?
Well, actually, I'm.
Well, you can do Paul Gauguin.
Well, I'm actually doing the Edge, the celebrity, the new ship.
Oh, that's supposed to be
in March.
beautiful. The brand new
Yeah,
ship.
We booked it, like on board, and I just checked the price, and they have gone up from what we got it. It's like 2.5 times more.
Wow. So you booked it early, and now everyone knows and wants to take the inaugural cruise, huh?
Well,
I'm
it's
gonna
not
go.
inaugural.
You're gonna go? Oh.
It's in March.
I'm going on the cruise to nowhere before
In
the
Florida.
inaugural.
Oh,
December.
The one for what, 2 nights?
I'm
Florida.
booked to go. Yeah.
Okay, you're going to have to tell me all about it because it's going to be a whole different experience.
Brand new ship.
Yeah,
Not
and
refurbished, brand new.
brand new, and this is pre-inaugural sailing. So
Fun.
And state of the art, everything is just going to be unbelievable.
Well, I only have 2 minutes left, but I wanted to, in 2 minutes, if you can explain. I got offered this American Express luxury special credit card, and I think that's the one you have. And don't you have that and love it because you go to the special rooms and everything in the dining places?
Okay, Cindy, make sure that is the American Express Platinum card.
Oh, I think I didn't get the platinum. It's the luxury card I got.
Okay, because not all of them give you access to the Centurion Lounge.
Oh, that's what I could not remember. The Centurion Lounge. Oh my God, this room, the Centurion Lounge in San Francisco. They have them all around the country, but it's this great restaurant, and you can take showers and do everything, and it's really much nicer than the VIP lounges at other
I've been
places.
in the
are.
Vegas one.
Have you been in the Vegas one? Are you a member of the Centurion?
I have the American Express Platinum.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, are we feeling inferior
I tell
here?
you, you
I
see,
just
know,
like my
it's-
God.
we're in the wrong business.
The annual
Cindy.
fee is high, but it pays for itself.
Was that the one that I paid $450? Is that
That's
the same?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? They raised it. I believe it's $550 now.
Is it $550?
Oh,
Yes.
then I mean,
However, I feel that it is well worth it, and especially last year when Fred, his mom was going through cancer, and he was flying to San Francisco every month, and then it was twice a month, and the lounge was just a haven for him to go and just relax, have a glass of wine, and really nice food.
they have a chef and everything. It's pretty
They do.
amazing. Yeah.
And the food is healthy, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's really wonderful.
Well, I'll have to upgrade again. I upgraded once. They said that you get in all these lounges all around every airport, anywhere you go. I thought it was the same one.
Yeah, and they also give you access to the priority pass, the lounges.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Right.
Okay, we'll see.
And then I'm not sure if you know this, Christine, but with certain cruise lines, when you pay with your American Express Platinum, you get additional perks on, like my last client got like an additional, I think it was $300 onboard credits.
Ooh,
So-
nice. Well, they tell me I get If I spend $5,000, I get 100,000 in points at Starwood.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured 100,000 in points. Okay. But anyway, we'll see. I might have gotten the wrong card. Oh, I should have called you before I made the deal. Well, we're out of time, but thank you for calling in, and we'll see you soon before you head off to Spain, right?
Okay. Aloha, Kathy and
Bye.
Kathy.
Bye, Kathy and Kathy show. Aloha.
Okay.
Thank you for listening,
Okay.
everyone. Thank you,
Bye.
Kathy and Kathy. See you next time here. Don't forget, you can call Kathy Takushi at 244-1414 for these special offers on really good cruises and more at Captivating Journeys. Aloha.